Attention listeners, the following podcast is based entirely on opinion. Just know that you are welcome to share your opinions in the comments, but please, don't be a troll and just respect other people's opinions, even if they agree with you. This is not meant to be a battleground for both fans and haters of Teen Titans Go alike, and I want to make this internet environment as friendly as possible with absolutely no rudeness or negativity of any kind. Thank you. And now, our feature presentation. Welcome back to the Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast, the audio only show where I take a look at the best and the worst of what Teen Titans Go is in store for us. My name is McKenna White, aka Raven the Commentator 2001, and I'm your hostess for the series. If you are new to the podcast, what I do is very simple. I talk about an episode and go into some details on the pros and cons of each one. Before it's time to go, I give it a golf-themed rating based on the number of pros and cons. The ratings for this and hopefully other things I do are hole-in-one, eagle, albatross, birdie, par, bogey, double bogey, and triple bogey, with a hole-in-one being the best and a triple bogey being the worst. Okay, so a couple of things before we get started. First of all, what I want to say is Happy Father's Day. Make sure you tell your dad that you love him, give him a gift, take him out to a restaurant for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever that might be, whatever you want to do. Or you could just get him a gift or give him a nice card. So, yeah, that's all that I want to say for the first part. The second part is that since I didn't have any time to work on the podcast this week, this is going to be one of those occasional Saturday releases for this podcast. That is right, folks. Occasionally, if I don't get a podcast done early by the end of this week, there will be an occasional Saturday release on YouTube. Another thing is, remember the Raven plush toy in the second episode? Hi, everybody. Yep. That's her. She is going to be my assistant for everything that I do from now on. And also another thing, I just got started on kind of make the process of making the commentary on Dorby's Making Decisions, which is going to be and the first episode of a new series that I'm going to be doing, which is Raven the Commentator 2001 commentaries. Now I know everybody has done commentaries on YouTube before, with the avatar and kind of expressing his or her emotions and everything else. But I just wanted to see if I could do my own take on it. It's gonna kind of be one of those commentaries that you don't watch every single day, with the editing styles and everything. I have downloaded the movie studio, which I have used for the intro, and hopefully I might use for the commentary. If not, then I'll just stick to Windows Movie Maker. Oh, and one other thing that's kind of sad. Adam West, the first TV Batman of the 1960s, has passed away at 88 recently due to leukemia getting into him. Not only was he known for being, like I said, the first Batman on television in the 1960s, but he was also a special guest on Johnny Bravo. He was also Mayor Adam West in Family Guy. And so, all I want to say is, may he rest in peace. He will be greatly missed by everyone. Not just Batman fans or Johnny Bravo fans and Family Guy fans, but everyone who has known him. Oh, and by the way, the reason why I'm mentioning the whole Batman part of it is because Batman and Teen Titans belong to the same company, DC Entertainment. So therefore, you shouldn't get these really confused. You shouldn't get this comment confused with showing disrespect to Adam West and stuff like that. Please, just no negative comments about Adam West in general. Don't say that he was a bad person and everything. Just like I said in the disclaimer, just be respectful. But now I've got that out of the way, it's time to talk about 2 episodes that I have watched this week, which are Double Trouble and The Date. Let's get into Double Trouble first, which thankfully the Wikia has provided me with a little bit of a plot summary that's kind of long. After getting tired of playing cavemen and dinosaurs with Beast Boy, Cyborg asks Raven to create a magical double of himself so he can play with Beast Boy while he can relax. However, Raven refused to do it and was tricked into making one when Cyborg asked her to make a copy of a pizza slice. Cyborg then introduces the clone Cyborg to Beast Boy, and they go and play. Cyborg gets a moment of peace, but quickly becomes bored and is surprised to see his clone and Beast Boy playing his favorite video game. He asks if he can join them, but they only had 2 controllers. Cyborg goes to Raven and asks her if she can make a Beast Boy clone. Raven refuses and gets tricked again into making another clone by Cyborg, telling her to duplicate a video game controller. Cyborg and Beast Boy's clone meet Beast Boy and Cyborg's clone, and the clones decide to hang out since they have more stuff in common. Cyborg and Beast Boy decide to be best friends again and are not happy with the clones around the Titan's tower eating their food and breaking their controllers, which was pretty disturbing when I did a commentary on this. The Titans and the clones hold a meeting in which they reach that the clones will leave the tower. However, the clones reveal that there are now even more clones, having stolen miniature Raven's spellbook and created more clones of themselves, outnumbering the Titans and kicking them out of their own tower. The Titans think about the memories they had in the tower, and Beast Boy and Cyborg say they don't really have any memories of the tower except for the last few months. I want to address this part in particular. So, if the Titans had been in the tower for so long, then why didn't Cyborg and Beast Boy have any memories of the tower at all? That's just stupid. We see them in an apartment building where Robin tells the Titans that he thinks the real Cyborg and Beast Boy are residing within an apartment. After gaining entry involving pain on Robin's part, the Titans discover the real Cyborg and Beast Boy, who are now morbidly obese and obsessively playing a video game. And when I saw that, I must say, they kind of look like Jabba the Hutt and his twin brother. Which, wow, that's pretty amazing. They tell the others that they have duplicated themselves with Raven's spellbook to take a vacation. Robin blames them for the tower being full of clones. Cyborg and Beast Boy thought that might happen and launched the tower into space and it substituted it with another tower. You know, I will admit, that part is just pretty cool. Starfire asks what will happen with the clones. The clones tell them that they are going to become hobos. What? No! This can't be happening! Why would they even become hobos in the first place if they were just clones? Shouldn't they just take them with you? Oh yeah, there's a part where it says Robin begs them not to go and tells them to leave, go and leave and leave them with the originals, but they leave anyway. Meanwhile, the clones that are launched into space are running from an extraterrestrial T-Rex. The episode finishes with the clones and the T-Rex dancing. Now, like I've said in the commentary that I made for my own personal use, it has been said to be the Teen Titans Go answer to Too Many Pinkie Pies from My Little Pony Friendship's Magic. But, so in that episode that I mentioned, spoilers for that episode if you haven't seen it, which is completely understandable. Pinkie Pie wants to participate in both activities, which are hanging out with, Rainbow Dash at the lake and attending Applejack's barn raising. So she goes into this pool that can magically clone her, and it actually turns out into a mirror. And as soon as that happens, there are way too many Pinkie Pies, and they're causing chaos all around Ponyville. And so Twilight sets them up with a test, and that test is to watch paint dry. And all of the clones are exterminated like this and this and this and this and that with her magic until there was one Pinkie Pie, and that's the real Pinkie Pie. She stays for the entire test, and so everything has gone back to normal, and they learn their lesson that you have to get a schedule and everything else or something like that. Well, what's the difference between Double Trouble and Too Many Pinkie Pies? Well, it's all in the ending. That's all how they get rid of the clones. In Double Trouble, like I said, they shoot the clones up in outer space. And in Too Many Pinkie Pies, Twilight uses her magic to get rid of the clones. Before we get too much further into that, I want to discuss the pros and cons of this episode. Cyborg dressed up as Flintstone is interesting. Cyborg's concern about death is completely understandable. Raven's scene was good. Her doubling spell is kind of cool. And Robin's advice on magic is very smart. He says that magic is a tool and is not meant to be messed with. Or something like that. The other three Titans, they're feeling ashamed of Cyborg's actions. There was a good game show-like scene, Raven roasting Cyborg's idiotic actions. The part of the spell of it kind of goes ricochet, and that was pretty funny. And there's double the sandwiches and double the blow dryers. When there was double the sandwiches, Robin stuffs his face with those sandwiches, and Starfire gets airborne by the doubles of the hair dryers. There was the two Beast Boys, good interaction. The other clones, they get along with each other later, and at least they were smart about kicking the clones out. If you ever hear that noise, that's just probably the paper going into the microphone. Raven helps Robin get through the door. Their backup plan works. The tower replaces itself, which is pretty cool, and it has a good ending. However, there are loads of drawbacks, like cons into the episode. Beast Boy eats Cyborg as a T-Rex. His saliva would completely destroy him. There are missed opportunities at the start. Beast Boy was a bit of a jerk. Cyborg was in the bathroom covered, and he made a mess with the toothpaste, resulting into it getting on Raven's cloak. Cyborg tricks Raven into that spell. Beast Boy points out the obvious. Cyborg mopes and dopes about Beast Boy. Raven gets annoyed, and Cyborg grabs Beast Boy by the head, which could be deadly. The other Beast Boy and Cyborg become jerks to each other. The doubles of BB and Cyborg are jerks to the other two. There are too many Cyborgs and Beast Boys. They take over the tower. Cyborg and Beast Boy do not have a memory of the tower. Robin struggles to open the door with his body, and Beast Boy points to the other room. Their apartment is messy. Robin becomes harsh with Cyborg and Beast Boy, and they really let themselves go, and the clones of them become hobos. So, before we're gonna go into the date, which I have said to myself is going to be really, really rough. But first, commercial break. And now it's time for the voice actor fun fact of the day, the part of the show where John comes out and tells us a fun voice actor fact.
If you think you know Tara Strong just by listening to Raven's voice, then wait until you hear this. Not only is she known for the aforementioned character from Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, but she is also famous for her many roles, including Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. That might explain the running gag of Raven watching Pretty Pegasus. That gag is shown on occasion, right?
This has been the voice actor fun fact of the day. Tune in next week for another fun bit of information about your favorite voice actor. Hey Raven, do you remember the episode The Date? Oh my goodness, how could I forget? Well, do you think the audience would like to hear our thoughts on it? Most definitely. You would. Would you? What did they say? I don't know. I think they said yes. Okay, great. Well, should I tell them the plot or should you? Oh, go ahead. Alright, the episode starts with Robin playing with a fortune teller and shouting in excitement. Beast Boy passes his door but stops and wonders what Robin is doing. Cyborg later joins Beast Boy on finding what it is. They manage to steal the fortune teller from him. Cyborg and Beast Boy make fun of him for playing with baby games but then play themselves. Hypocrisy much? Both Cyborg and Beast Boy's fortunes were about Starfire. Beast Boy, you will marry Starfire, and Cyborg, you and Starfire will have 7 kids. Those don't make sense. Then Cyborg checks all the fortunes. They ask Robin why are all the fortunes about Starfire, and he tells them the fortunes were meant for him. After hearing a voice in his head and getting bad advice from Cyborg and Beast Boy, Robin asks Starfire to a restaurant opening tonight, which she declines because Speedy, by his luck, already asked her. Speedy walks in and as a jealous Robin tries to convince Starfire that Speedy is wrong for her. She says that she is only going because he and Speedy share many auditory and physical features, hinting she may have a crush on Robin. Robin then kidnaps Speedy, dresses up like him, and plans to ruin their date. As Cyborg and Beast Boy watch Speedy, Starfire regrets going on the date. Cyborg and Beast Boy got bored and asked Raven to keep watching Speedy while they go out and eat. Speedy then escapes, with Raven not showing any attempt to keep him tied. Starfire on her date tells Speedy that she was wrong to think he was like Robin and walks away from the date. As Starfire is leaving, Speedy arrives. By the way, Robin was dressed as Speedy, and Speedy was dressed as Robin. The two boys fight, and Robin switches back into his original costume in time for Starfire to fall for Robin. Robin started hearing a voice and felt guilty and tells Starfire what happened. Starfire seems happy at first, but punches Robin in the face for ruining her date. Just as she's about to bring Robin further pain, the voice inside Robin's head takes her out on a date as Robin lays on the floor, disappointed, along with Speedy knocked out, lying on the floor. I want to take some time to discuss the pros and cons of this episode. Here are the pros for this one. The start was elaborated decently later on. The narrator was interesting. The asking part in the room was pretty funny. It's kind of, it is kind of funny that Raven's advice is kind of funny. And it's pretty smart. Two of Robin's ways of asking were pretty cool. Robin and Starfire's interaction was very funny. In one thing that I said earlier, here's Speedy. Not sure if I said that earlier. Starfire broke the fourth wall, presumably. She said that Robin and Speedy share many auditory and physical features and similar traits or whatever. I'm assuming that she was stating that they're both voiced by Scott Menville. If you haven't heard the first episode yet, I will provide the link in the description below. There was a good Scooby-Doo reference with Beast Boy changing to Scooby-Doo and Cyborg and Beast Boy eating Scooby snacks, I think. That bit with Speedy was pretty funny. Starfire's roast on that disguised Speedy was pretty funny. There's a cool action scene, and Starfire notices Robin's behavior. There was a clever fourth wall break, and Robin knew that what he did was terrible. Now, I know I said that this is going to be rough, but I'm going to tell you all, unfortunately, the cons. Beast Boy and Cyborg and maybe the audience were invading Robin's privacy when the episode first aired. The start gets very confusing at first. Cobra abuse. There's cobra abuse in there. When Beast Boy changes into some sort of a cobra. The pink paper thing, like the fortune teller, has been giving me really bad memories of sophomore year Spanish 2. I remember, seeing these paper things, and they found out that they were just made of, sticky notes, and I just keep throwing them away every time. One of my classmates actually did this. Cyborg and Beast Boy's fortune about Starfire do not make any sense. Cyborg and Beast Boy act like children. Robin's Spanish was not very good. He says, "Hola, Starfire." All I can say is, "Este chico no entiende español." That means, this boy does not understand Spanish in Spanish. Starfire was about to shut out Robin in Robin's invitation to the date was turned down. And there's apparently, like, some sort of a possibility for a love triangle. Robin being so angry. He kidnaps Speedy. Robin's in disguise. And that is, as Lemon Ground would say it, unacceptable! Yep, that's an Adventure Time reference. Speedy saying, let me go so many times can be very annoying. Speedy escapes and dresses up as Robin. Robin acts a little ridiculous. The conflict ensues. The fight was pretty ridiculous and messed up. Starfire acts pretty insane towards him. Robin gets injured, and Starfire dates the narrator. Okay, so the ratings for this one. Double Trouble has 22 cons and 18 pros, while The Date has 21 cons and 16 pros in total. So these, unfortunately, are bogeys. I'm sorry, but if you ever wanted to see these episodes, then I suggested you just only watch them at least once. That way you won't get so annoyed by it and you won't have a very bad experience with it. What do you think, Raven? What do you think about these 2 episodes? Well, let me just say this overall. I mean, these episodes are pretty good examples of what not to do with a certain plot, especially like with Robin going on a date with Starfire as Speedy and kidnapping somebody because you know, they sound the same and look the same and everything. And it's just so unbearable kind of seeing this little fight towards them, like on the phone, and you know what? I absolutely regret that. And also in Double Trouble, I absolutely regret getting tricked by Cyborg with that little double spell that I was doing. What's your golf rating on these? Definitely bogeys. These 2 are definitely bogeys. Just like McKenna said, just watch them once and maybe you'll forget about it. If you decide on never watching it again, then just with your kids anyway, just point out the flaws and maybe just tell them don't act like either Cyborg, Beast Boy, or Robin because what they're doing is wrong and that you probably shouldn't be copying these actions. Thank you so much for your thoughts. No problem. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have to help McKenna out with putting the notes away. Where should I put these? Probably on that desk right there. Hang on. Let's see if we can get this out of the way. There. There, I'll put it away. Thanks. No problem there. Oh, and, I'm sorry about your broken fidget spinner that was given to you in the 2nd episode. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm getting another one at some point. Anyways, this concludes the 3rd episode of the Teen Titans Go Saga the podcast. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, this is Raven the Commentator 2001 or McKenna White saying, with great wisdom comes great responsibility. Take care, folks, and, like I said in the beginning, Happy Father's Day! Hey, it's me, Raven the Commentator 2001 again. Autism may seem funny in comedy, but the truth is, 1 in 68 children currently living in the United States, like me, has been diagnosed with autism. To learn more about how you can improve the lives of those affected by autism, visit the Autism Society of America at www.autism-society.org.